Hey guys, in this video, let us discuss about few annotations that are used in Spring framework. Add component, add service, add repository, add configuration, add controller, add REST controller. Let us discuss about the similarities and the differences in these annotations. Let us also discuss when and where to use these annotations. Let us first discuss about these three annotations: add component, add service, add repository. First is add component annotation. This is a general purpose stereotype annotation. If a class is annotated with add component, then Spring framework will create an object of that class, and that is called as a Spring Bean. Where to use this add component annotation? This add component annotation can be used on classes that hold a state. Technically, it can be used on Java Bean classes. Let me show you an example. Here I have a simple Java Bean. This class is annotated with add component. Let me just click on this add component. This is the code of your add component annotation. If a class is annotated with add component, then Spring framework will create an object of this class. And where to use this add component annotation? It can be used on simple Java Bean classes. Now let us move on to the next annotation, add service annotation. This is a stereotype annotation for the service layer. This annotation can be used on classes that will be taking care of the business logic. Now let me show you an example for this. Here I have created an application wherein I have a service layer. The package name is com.productapp.service, within which I am having product service IMPL. This is the class which is going to handle the business logic. So I have annotated this class with add service. Now the question may occur, what is the difference between add component and add service? Can I use add component above this class? Of course you can use add component above this class also. But to the developer, we are informing that this is a service layer. So it will be really apt to use add service annotation. This add service is one level above add component annotation, but there is no change. It is just going to behave in the same manner as that of add component annotation. This is only for us, for the developers, to understand that if a class is annotated with add service, it means that this class is going to take care of the business logic. Now let me click on this add service. Let us see the code of add service annotation. Here you can see add service also is annotated with add component. So this add service inherits all the properties of add component what you have seen over here. Let me scroll up. If a class is annotated with add service, then it indicates that the class is a service layer. So that is the difference between add component and add service. Add component can be used on Java Bean classes. Add service can be used on classes that will handle the business logic. Let us move on to the next annotation, add repository. Add repository is a stereotype annotation that is used in the persistence layer. That is, it is used in the DAO layer. If a class is annotated with add repository, then it behaves like a repository class or a DAO class which is responsible for connecting to the database. DAO means data access object. If you have worked with Java applications, you know that a class that is connecting to the database is called as the DAO class. That layer is called as the DAO layer. In case of Spring framework, they use the term as repository. So, a class or an interface annotated with add repository behaves like a DAO layer or a repository layer and is responsible for connecting to the database. This add repository annotation also has one other operation. It is responsible for catching all the database specific exceptions, that is all the persistent specific exceptions, and rethrow them into Spring specific runtime exceptions. That is, all these exceptions will be converted into data access exception. This data access exception is a runtime exception in Spring framework. Let us see an example for this also. Let me open the repository layer. iProduct repository. So here I have used data.jpa. That is why the interface is annotated with at repository. Let me just click on this and see the code. If you notice, this repository class also is annotated with at component. So at repository, at service are specialized annotations of at component, one level above. Let me scroll up, and this indicates the annotated class is a repository. If you are working with Java, they are also called as DAO classes. Let me scroll down. You can just see this. A class or interface annotated with that repository is responsible for converting your persistent specific exception into data access exception. So, at component annotation can be used on Java Bean classes. At service annotation can be used on classes that will be handling the business logic. At repository annotation can be used on interfaces or classes that is responsible for connecting to the database. One important thing that you need to notice is at component and at service annotation can be added only to classes, because Spring framework will create objects for these classes. You cannot create an object for an interface. So you cannot add these two annotations above an interface. But in case of repository, if you are connecting your Spring application to the database using Spring JDBC, then you can annotate a class with at repository. If you are using spring-data-jpa, then you will be annotating an interface with at repository. That's what we have seen now. It means the implementation class for this will be created during the runtime. So only at repository can be added above a class or above an interface. Now let us move on to the next annotation, at configuration. At configuration is an annotation that is used with Java based configuration. That is, till now you have learned that the annotations like at component and at service can be added above the class. So Spring framework will scan those packages and create objects for these classes. But in case of at configuration, it is a class which is going to have the source of all the bean definitions. It means the class has multiple methods. Each method is called as a bean definition. That is, each method is annotated with at bean. Also, this at configuration class is a specialized version of at component. It means during runtime, Spring framework will auto detect this class. First, it will create an object of app config, because this at configuration is a combination of at component plus at configuration. So Spring framework will create an object for this app config. Together with that, it will read the bean definitions one by one and it will create an object appropriately. That is, it will create an object of rectangle, create an object of triangle, create an object of shape factory. So for this particular code, now we will have 4 Spring beans. The bean names will be app config, A lowercase, C uppercase, that is in camel case. Then get rectangle, get triangle, factory. Why? Whatever method name you have given, that will be the name of your Spring bean. Okay. Now the next question will be, I can directly create objects for these classes if I am using at component annotation above the class. Then what is the purpose of going in for at configuration class? This at configuration class is very well used when you are going to work with inbuilt classes. If it is going to be your user defined class, it is very easy. You just go and add at component annotation above the classes. But if it is an inbuilt class and you need an object of inbuilt class, you cannot go and modify the class because it is an inbuilt class. So in that scenario, you will be creating a class that is annotated with at configuration. You will be creating a bean definition which will be responsible for creating an object of that class. Say for example, if you are having two REST APIs, that is REST API 1 and REST API 2. From REST API 1, I want to connect to REST API 2. That is, I want a communication to happen between two REST APIs. In that scenario, we will be using a class called as REST template. REST template is an inbuilt class. I cannot create an object of REST template directly. So I need to use the help of Spring framework. And this class of course is not annotated with add component. So it is our duty that we need to create an object of this class. We cannot directly create an object, but rather we can create a configuration class inside which we can give a bean definition to return a REST template object. So the moment the application starts, Spring framework will create an object of REST template. This REST template is an inbuilt class. Similarly, when you are working with a database, if you want to provide the data source details, we give the data source details declaratively using application.properties. If you want to do it programmatically, then you can create a class that is annotated with add configuration, and you can explicitly create a data source object wherein you can provide the driver class name, URL, username and password. In this case, if you see, I am trying to programmatically configure the H2 data source. We cannot create an object of the data source directly. So we are providing the bean definition so that Spring framework will create an object of this particular class. Okay, let us see an example of this configuration now. Let me open this example of auto wiring. Here I have shape interface and three subclasses: rectangle annotated with component, square annotated with component, triangle annotated with component. So Spring framework will automatically create objects for these classes because all the classes are annotated with add component. Now the same application I have modified using add configuration. Let me open this. Here also I am having the same classes, but they are not annotated with add component, rectangle, square and triangle. Instead, I have created a configuration class. This class is having multiple bean definition. Let us open this add configuration. If you notice, this configuration is also a specialized class of add component. So automatically Spring framework will scan this class, create an object of app config. Then it will read the bean definitions one by one and create an object of rectangle, triangle, shape factory and square. But what will be the bean names? The method name will be the bean name. If you are using add component annotation, the class name in lowercase will be your component name. If you want to give a different component name, then you can give it within parenthesis. But if you do not give any name, the class name in lowercase will be the bean name. But when we are working with app config, that is in a configuration class, whatever method name you are giving, that will be the bean name. So the beans that will be created for this application will be app config, that is in camel case, get rectangle, get triangle, factory and get SQ. So these are the Spring beans that will be created for this particular class. As I told you, when we are working with our own user-defined classes, we will not be going in for configuration class. But if we want to work with inbuilt classes, then it is mandatory that we need to use add configuration class. That is, if you want to configure Spring security specific classes or JWT specific classes or REST template or data source specific classes, then you need a class that is annotated with add configuration. Now let me show you. Here I have an example of an application connecting to the database using spring-data-jpa. Here I am connecting with H2 database. I want to programmatically configure the data source. So for that, I have created a class that is annotated with add configuration, created a bean definition to configure the data source. While configuring the data source, you can provide the driver class name, URL, username and password. So the class annotated with add configuration will have multiple bean definitions. The purpose of this particular class is mainly used if you want to create objects of inbuilt classes. Now let us move on to add controller and add REST controller annotation. Add controller annotation is a stereotype annotation which is used with web applications. This is just to inform Spring framework that this is a MVC controller. When a request comes in, the dispatcher servlet will scan for these classes which are annotated with add controller. Then it will try to map the URL pattern with the action name that is coming from the request. For that, it will look in for methods that are annotated with request mapping. The next one is at-rest controller. At-rest controller are stereotype annotations that are used with REST APIs. This is a combination of at-controller and at-response body. The methods that are used in at-rest controller will return the data itself. But here, in case of at-controller, the methods will return the name of the view template. Let me show you an example of REST controller. This is a REST API. Here the class is annotated with @REST controller. Let me click on this annotation. This annotation is a specialized version of @controller. Together with @controller annotation, it is also having @response body. This means the method, when it is returning the response, it is returning the data itself. The data can be in the form of a string or object or inbuilt classes or user-defined classes, list or collections. It can be anything. So this is about the annotations that are being used in Spring framework. @component can be used with Java Bean classes. @service can be used in classes that are handling business logic. @repository can be used with interfaces or classes that are connecting to the database. @configuration is a class which is going to have multiple bean definitions. @controller is used in the classes that will be behaving like an MVC controller. That is, it is used for Spring MVC applications. @rest controller is a combination of @controller and response body. It means it can be used with REST APIs. The methods return the data itself. Hope this helps. That's all. Thank you.